In the small town of Pinebrook, the legend of Josh Hunton was a constant shadow, a lingering fear that haunted the woods and the hearts of its residents. However, this story isn't about his reign of terror, but about a hero who dared to confront it. The hero in question was Clara Jennings, a determined journalist with a knack for uncovering the truth. Clara had grown up hearing the tales of Josh Hunton, a man whose name had become synonymous with evil after he vanished into the forest 20 years ago, leaving behind a string of unsolved murders and a community paralyzed by fear. As a child, she had been both terrified and fascinated by the stories, but now, as an adult, she was determined to bring closure to the town and unearth the truth behind the legend. Clara's investigation led her to the Pinebrook Historical Society, a dusty building filled with records and artifacts from the town's past. She spent days poring over old newspapers, police reports, and personal diaries, piecing together a narrative that had long been shrouded in mystery. What she found was both disturbing and intriguing. Accounts of strange sightings in the woods, whispers of occult rituals, and a peculiar symbol that appeared repeatedly in connection with Hunton's name, a symbol resembling a twisted, interwoven knot. One evening, Clara received an anonymous tip that changed everything. A cryptic email suggested she visit an old cabin deep in the Pinebrook Woods, a place long rumored to be Hunton's hideout. Armed with a flashlight, a camera, and her ever-present notebook, Clara set out to find the truth once and for all. The forest was dense and silent, the only sound the crunch of leaves underfoot and the occasional call of a distant owl. As she ventured deeper, the trees seemed to close in around her, their gnarled branches forming grotesque shapes in the dim light. Finally, she saw it. The cabin, almost hidden by the overgrowth, its windows dark and lifeless. Pushing open the creaking door, Clara stepped inside, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with the scent of decay and something else, something metallic. Her beam fell on a table covered in yellowed papers and odd trinkets, among them a rusted knife and a small, intricately carved box bearing the same twisted knot symbol. Clara's heart raced as she opened the box, revealing a collection of old photographs and a worn, leather journal. The journal belonged to Josh Hunton. Clara's hands shook as she flipped through the pages, reading his descent into madness and his obsession with the occult. Hunton had believed he could gain eternal life by performing a dark ritual, one that required human sacrifices. The final entry was particularly chilling. Tonight is the night. The ritual will be completed. The forest will consume me, and I will become one with the darkness. Suddenly, Clara felt a presence behind her. She spun around, her flashlight beam revealing a shadowy figure standing in the doorway. Her heart pounded in her chest as the figure stepped forward into the light. It was Sheriff Tom Brackett, an old friend of her father's, and the man who had led the search for Hunton all those years ago. "Clara, what are you doing here?" he asked, his voice a mix of concern and disbelief. "I got a tip," she replied, showing him the journal. "I think this place holds the key to what happened to Hunton." Brackett's face grew pale as he scanned the room. "We need to leave. Now. This place is cursed." Before Clara could protest, the ground beneath them trembled, and a low, guttural growl echoed through the cabin. The shadows seemed to come alive, swirling around them. Clara and Brackett stumbled out of the cabin, running through the woods as the growl grew louder, more menacing. As they reached the edge of the forest, Clara turned back to see the cabin consumed by darkness, the twisted knot symbol glowing eerily in the night. She knew their confrontation with Josh Hunton was far from over. The forest had not only consumed him, but had also taken on his malevolent spirit. The legend of Josh Hunton had just begun a new chapter, and Clara was determined to end it once and for all.